I had a client get denied business funding, and I want to just come on here and talk about the lessons learned so that y'all can avoid the mistakes. I know a lot of people, they just post the wins. I don't really give a fuck. I don't got nothing to prove to y'all. I know myself and everything. So if I'm going to be the sacrifice to post my L's so that y'all learn, that's what it's going to be. So transparency. It was not my direct client, so this was a partnership type of situation. And like I said, watch the entire video because I think it'll be a learning lesson for those of y'all that are doing business funding and those of y'all that aspire to do it, or if you even aspire to get your own funding. So yeah, watch the entire video. So number one, also transparency. This was supposed to be a collaborative video. So the lady that the referral came from, she was supposed to be on here, but she wasn't able to make it. And I just wanted to kind of show the lesson in terms of when stuff happens in business, especially, you got to pivot, right? So I was like, okay, we could reschedule. We can keep trying to reschedule because we've been trying to, do the video. We can try to keep rescheduling, but it gets to a point I'm like, okay, I can just pivot and make the video, do it a little bit differently, right? It's no bad blood to her or nothing. I just want to be fully transparent with what's going on. So I think what'll be important for y'all is like how we even got the client. So number one, let's talk about how she found me. So she found me, I believe it's through my ads, running ads on IG. And I think she followed me then, was watching me for a while, to know like trusting. And then the client came directly from her, but it was through someone else that she knows because she does taxes, right? So she do taxes. The client came from a different tax person that she knows. So this is being referred to her, and then it's being referred to me because obviously I'm the funding guy, right? I got the connections, all that. So, background. This particular client is a restaurant owner, right? And the type of funding we were going for is revenue based because the client's personal credit was not good. So they were looking for access to fast funding, revenue based. I know a lot of people, they'll be like, oh, MCAs and all that is the worst thing in the world. It it really depends on the person's situation. So this person in particular, this business owner, they were used to getting revenue-based type of lending, and they got worse rates versus when they worked with us, right? I'm gonna get into it. So, number one lesson for those of y'all that are looking at it like, how do I go about getting, funding clients and all that, right? You see, in this particular situation, it was through a referral. I've made myself known as the funding person, as you see on my YouTube videos, as you see on my IG. I'm not sure if she watches my YouTube. I think she watches my YouTube as well, but I know, obviously she saw me on IG. So this just goes back to the importance of being consistent in what you're doing, right? Being consistent in your mission. Our mission is to help fund $1 billion to small business owners. She brought that client over because she understands our mission. She understands that I'm the one with the connections. I'm the one that has the expertise and knowledge and everything to get everything situated, right? So that was what we did in terms of that. So the client came to us. Like I said, he has a restaurant, so he wanted to get access to fast funding. So what we did was I went to my private connections. So one thing, again, this is a lesson as well. One thing you've got to understand when it comes to this business funding game, you don't want to just only know how to do 0% interest business credit cards, right? Because in this particular situation, if I didn't have the connections I had as far as, private lending, then I would have had to just tell her and the client, like, oh, no, I can't help y'all because I don't have the fulfillment for it. But this is the importance of connecting with people that have these connections or establishing them yourself, right? If you don't have them already, connect with someone like myself that does have them. So that's a lesson in itself for y'all as well. So client wanted some revenue-based lending. They were just in the mindset of, whatever they get approved for, right? So fast forward, we go through the application process. It's like it take this is really supposed to be like a 24 to 72 hour turnaround, but there was a lot of delays in terms of us getting stuff back from the client. And from my knowledge, from what I heard, the client's not the most tech computer savvy or something like that. I don't know fully what was going on. So second thing or third or whatever number lesson we're on is communication, right? I think communication is very, very important. It's important to communicate. It's important to make sure that you're working with a client that has good communication skills because we can market like, okay, 24 to 72 hours is revenue base is going to be done. A week or two, this 0% interest business credit card is going to be done. If the funding client, so this is a lesson for you as a client, and this is a lesson for those of y'all that's running a credit repair slash funding business, right? If the client is not communicating good, if the client doesn't have the best communication skills, this shit's gonna be delayed, right? It's what you make of it. The best clients I've had, communication is on point, right? Whether that is direct or referred from someone else, a partner or something, right? So this particular client that ended up getting ultimately denied, communication was not the best. So I want y'all to just peep certain shit when you're communicating with clients. I peeped it from the get-go just because I be peeping shit. And I've been doing this since 2021. So I peep certain shit. I'm always like looking at certain things in terms of when it's working with clients or working with even with partners. So I peeped that early on. So I already knew what it was. The thing is, we operate off of volume. So it's not like that's the only client we're working with. We're constantly working and got a lot of clients in our pipeline. So I wasn't really too negatively affected by it because, I'm already focused on someone else. We have our credit repair department in our business as well. So I oversee that. So I just got a lot of shit going on to where I'm not just worried about just this one particular client, right? So I just want y'all to understand and remember too, when you're going through your funding in terms of you as a business owner that's doing funding for people, just remember that volume is gonna make sure that you're not really like, I need this person to reply, I need this person to, do all that, right? So communication was lackluster. I will, be transparent on that. So fast forward, we're able to do it, everything done. We get a first approval of about $12,000, right? So $12,000 approval is better than anything because the client just wanted something. And then what happened was we were still waiting on a different lender through my private plug. So fast forward, we finally get that one, and ultimately the biggest approval that we got was it was 24,000, right? So $24,000 approval. Those of y'all that know the funding game, 10% success fee is $2,400. So $2,400 would have been made on this particular deal if it ultimately went through. But this is where stuff started. This is where shit hit the fan and where stuff started to not go the way it was supposed to go. So this is the thing, right? I'm connected to BRMs when it comes to the traditional lending. Obviously, y'all see like the Chase, the Citizens, all that, all the stuff I be posting, right? Y'all get that, right? If you watch my videos. On the flip side, when it comes to revenue based, I'm connected to private lenders that do aggressive underwriting. They're gonna see shit that I might not see, right? So going through the underwriting, basically, this is more of a lesson for you as a client, and even those of y'all that's running a funding business. So it wasn't disclosed to us that this particular person they had a previous history of not good payments with certain loans, and then they also had a current loan that was going on. So ultimately, it came down to they've got to pay down if they wanted to get the 24,000 offer, they were supposed to pay down the entire balance of their previous thing, right? So we got to that point, and I think that it was a different stipulation with the 12,000, right? So the 24,000 it now became off of the table because that wasn't feasible at the time. And then it came down to the $12,000. I think there was something else that they had to do, right? This deal is from some time ago, like maybe a few weeks ago or so. We're constantly on the next thing, but I just wanted to do this video. Like I said, we've been trying to do this video, but schedules just haven't aligned. But I'm just like, fuck it, let me just record it myself and get it to y'all in a timely manner because I know this video may help somebody. So the main lesson of what I'm trying to say is client transparency. Everything goes back to communication. Lackluster communication, transparency was not the best, right? If we knew that there was transparency there as far as what was done, we would have already just from the gate been like, okay, you might have to pay this before, you move forward. And the thing too, the dope thing about it was the $24,000 that we got, the client, was better than anything that they've gotten themselves. We got them better terms than they would have got themselves, that they've had themselves. So it was one of those things where it was it was an offer really, really good, but they just were in the mindset that they didn't want to go through with it. Maybe I don't know if it had anything to do with the success fee or anything, or maybe they just don't want to pay the thing off. But I just want to let y'all know, y'all that's doing funding, this is just a universal thing because I even experienced this today, right? Somebody was attempted to being referred to me. They said that, oh, their friend or somebody's trying to get funding. We set up a call, we discussed everything. Okay, let's do the necessary steps to move forward. All of a sudden, oh no, they're not interested in funding no more. So you're gonna get time wasters in this industry, so it is what it is. But I just wanted to, like I said, I just wanted to narrate what happened just so y'all can learn from it. So I would say really just understanding communication is important, transparency. So you can only know so much from what the client tells you, obviously, but just making it go out of your way to make it a safe space to make it transparent so where the client can feel like they can share what's going on with their situation, Just make it like a safe space. Don't be judgmental. Because business happens how business happens. Even if it's personal funding, life happens. So yeah, I don't want to make this video too long or nothing, but I think transparency, communication, those were some of the main lessons. And I would say volume, like I said, volume. We're not really affected by this because, oh shit, 2,400, went out the door or whatever. But when you're constantly focusing on more deals, your volume is going to negate luck. That's the whole saying of what they say. So you want to focus on more and more volume, right? So focus on volume, focus on that, and then just look at the whole method, the whole journey of how this client even came into my ecosystem. I built my brand authority as someone that does funding. She was following me online in terms of IG, and then she spoke with someone else that does taxes as well. And then they came to my world. So focus on posting your content, focus on talking to your people and making sure that you're the known expert in your field. And then an additional lesson, don't just be a one trick pony, right? Because I have these connections to alternative lending and we're able to get these favorable terms, that makes our business more valuable, right? I've said it in a previous video before, like we the avatar of this shit, right? Because a lot of people that are in funding, all they know is funding, and maybe all they know is 0% interest. When I say the Avatar, those are on Avatar: The Last Airbender, the cartoon as a kid. So you got the fire, he got the fire element, you got the water, air, earth, right? So I know all this shit, right? I'm not just, oh, I just know consumer laws. I just know funding. Usually people that just know consumer laws, they don't know funding and vice versa, right? So I know both. And then on top of that, too, when it comes to the fulfillment of the funding, I'm not just 0% interest. I'm also revenue based, right? We could also talk about asset based lending as well, right? So you just have to have multiple ways to serve people so that you're not losing out on business because people come in all different shapes and sizes when it comes to what they need within their business. So I just hope that this is beneficial for y'all. Like I said, I know people usually just come on here to post their wins and everything. And obviously, if you look on my channel, you see a lot of wins. And the whole purpose of it is to obviously inspire you and continue to market our business. But I think on the flip side too, we just gotta talk about the reality of things. When deals don't happen, right? When shit hits the fan, when you got the approval, we got the approval too. And we thought everything was all good, but it just ultimately didn't go through. There was a lack of communication, the lack of transparency. And I think those were ultimately what crumbled the deal. So I could say that I could take accountability. I could have done more, on my end as far as, making sure the due diligence was there. But yeah, so I say that to say, I hope this video was helpful. If you are someone that is looking for your own business funding, I'm gonna leave a link in the description below. If you're someone that is trying to get into the funding business, to be honest, I don't really care about helping no credit repair business owners only because majority of them are cheap, So if you're someone you're just looking for a new opportunity, new way to make money or so, you're looking at funding as a good way. I'll leave a link in the description for you to book a call to see if you could apply to work with me one-on-one. It is not cheap. It is not a cheap program. It's a 90-day program, so keep that in mind. So it will require a good investment. So if you want to work with me, that'll be there as well. And then if you just want to get tapped into CAT Credit University, at the time I'm recording, this is only $29 a month. So you can get in there. We could help you go get your first or next credit card. It's more like basic credit repair info. I mean, you get what you pay for with shit. So, yeah. With that being said, if none of our services are of interest to you, just keep watching my videos if that's beneficial to you. If not, never watch any more of my videos. Just do what you will, basically, is my point. With that being said, y'all have a blessed one.